Three, two, one. Bonjour et bienvenue à Le Français avec KJ. I am KJ and I will be your host today. We are starting a new series. Aujourd'hui, nous allons commencer notre série Stage X. Okay, so before we get started, let's just remind everyone that this is a course for intermediate French learners, and in order to truly benefit from this course, you will need to have some present tense conjugations under your belt. You'll also need to be familiar with noun, adjective, and subject verb agreement, but also it's handy to have some basic vocabulary. So if you're looking for any of those beginner elements that you might need in order to truly benefit from this channel, I will link my other channel to this, the description for this one so that you'll have that information. All right, so today we need to know some preliminary vocabulary. So let's have a look at what we need here. We need to know stage, but we also need to know stagiaire. So stage is internship. Stagiaire is an intern, someone who's doing an internship. Se laisser distraire means to get distracted. Moi, je le fais toujours. I'm always getting distracted. Trier is to sort. Okay. Se réunir. Interesting verb because it means to meet. And if you have already studied French, you probably got rencontrer, okay, as to meet. And that's really to meet someone for the first time. You probably also got something like se retrouver for like to meet up with your friends. And that's advantageous to have as well. That's a different kind of meeting. Okay. This meet is to be in a meeting that is formal, that has an objective, usually an agenda. So this is se réunir, to meet in a more formal business sense. Avoir pas mal de is to have a lot of something, and it's kind of an ironic way of saying it. Like, on a pas mal de travail ici, like you have a lot of work here, but it's really because it has that sort of negative flair with the word pas in the middle of it, it can be sort of a, yeah. Uh, um, I call it ironic. There's some things that are just not translatable into English, and I can never find the right words for them, but this is one of them. Avoir pas mal is to have a lot, even though it sounds like a negative. Okay, bavarder means to chat, and I'm just going to tell you right now, the French do not like to chat a lot. To have like little easy breezy small talk with people, the French do not do this. And they really don't do it with strangers. So if they don't know you, they're not going to bavarder with you, okay? So this means that this term is used for people who are familiar with each other. They kind of know each other, or they're trying to get to know each other, and but they're in a setting where they've already been introduced, and they're going to be they kind of have to get to know each other. But if you just walk up to somebody and try to have small talk with them, it is not going to happen. But that is what bavarder means, to chat. Se croiser avec quelqu'un, ça veut dire, that means to run into someone, but it's not to like smack into somebody. It's more like, par chance, je me suis croisée avec le voisin. I just happened to bump into the neighbor. And it's kind of like you run into someone at the supermarket or maybe in the hall or somewhere like that. But that's what se croiser is. Okay. So we're pretty much ready right now, I think, except but we need one more thing. We need a verb. And remember I said we were going to talk about faire? Well, in this series, we're going to learn how to use the word faire to make someone do something. And I love this because the word faire means to do or to make. And so far, when we do faire, when we use faire, we're actually using it to say, I do something. Je fais mes devoirs, je fais le lessive, je fais les courses. Okay, but now we're going to use faire to make someone else do it, which is even more fun. All right, so except First, we need to remind ourselves what the conjugation of faire is. So let's remember that je fais, tu fais, il, elle, on fait, I, you, he, she, or it does. Nous faisons, we do it, or we make it. Vous faites, oops, I lost my conjugation there. Here we go. Vous faites, you all, and ils, elles font, they. Okay, they do or make something. All right, so let's look at our first sentence, which I skipped off to a second ago. Ma mère me fait faire mes devoirs. Okay, so my mom makes me, this is an indirect object pronoun. So this is the make. Okay, my mom makes me do my homework. Now, I love this because it has two fairs in it, and each one has a different meaning, represents one meaning of fair. So this one is to make me, and this one is to do my homework. All right. Notice that the verb is conjugated for ma mère, and I am the one who's receiving the action. So I'm the indirect object there. So notice that even if you put in the elle me fait faire mes devoirs, okay, and we could even put in me les faire, elle me les fait faire, okay, elle me les fait faire. So that would be she makes me do them, okay, or it. Let's look over here at the next one. Je fais nettoyer le salon à mon frère. Now, I've written this all out here because I want you to see how you bring in the person who's doing the action. So, I make my brother clean the living room. Notice that here is that infinitive. So, you have the verb faire plus an infinitive equals this to make someone do something, okay? And then you use a to say who's going to do the action. So je fais nettoyer le salon à mon frère. Okay, make my brother do it. Okay, clean the living room. So je lui, now look, I've taken out à mon frère and I've replaced it with the indirect object pronoun. Je lui fais nettoyer le salon. Notice that the verb is still conjugated for me. Je lui fais nettoyer le salon. I make him clean the living room. Okay, so that's pretty much everything that you need to know to follow along in this first episode of the series Stage X. So let's get on with the story.
Le premier jour de leur stage, tous les stagiaires se sont réunis avec leur gérante, Madame Hugues. Après la réunion, 3 d'entre eux se sont croisés dans le couloir.
Vous vous appelez Petrov?
Oui.
Petrov a répondu timidement.
Et vous?
Je m'appelle Diane et voici Mia.
Enchanté. On a pas mal de travail ici, non?
Oui, mais si vous voulez, nous pouvons nous retrouver pour le déjeuner.
D'accord.
Je ne connais pas bien ce quartier. On peut se promener un peu?
Les 3 jeunes ont travaillé tout le matin et se sont rencontrés à midi devant la salle de réunion.
Je connais un bon boulangerie près d'ici. On peut prendre des sandwichs et déjeuner au parc Monceau.
Après le déjeuner, les jeunes stagiaires se sont promenés en bavardant.
Dis, tu ne trouves pas Madame Hugues un peu exigeante?
Petrov a dit.
Un peu? Elle m'a fait trier tous les feutres des graphistes.
Elle m'a fait plier 200 dépliants pour la conférence vendredi.
Et toi, Petrov?
Mais Petrov n'a pas pu répondre car Diane a poussé un cri.
Il est 1h moins 5. Allons vite.
Ils ont couru mais ils sont arrivés 10 minutes en retard. Madame Hugues les attendait dans le couloir.
Désolée, madame.
Diane a dit.
Ne vous laissez pas distraire.
Madame Hugues a dit sévèrement.
Nous avons beaucoup de travail ici.
Il est l'heure de réfléchir. Let's think about this. Quelques questions à considérer. Est-ce que vous travaillez maintenant ou pendant l'été? Racontez vos expériences du premier jour. I know I've had some very, very, let's say, stressful or peculiar first days at jobs. So I'm sure there's a story there somewhere. Um, Est-ce que vous connaissez des individus exigeants ou bien êtes-vous exigeant? Racontez vos expériences. Actually, I think I have been both on the receiving end of some pretty demanding people, and I've also had occasion to be demanding. So I'll be interested to see what you write about there. Okay, so remember that you can rewind this video as many times as you would like to learn this material. Please feel free to add comments or questions in the comment section. I know there's a thumb missing there. I have to get that back in. Next episode, we learn more about Mia Petrov and Diane, and we'll focus on expressions with Faire and get some extra tips. So until then, I would definitely like to thank Pixels and Unsplash for the images that make this video possible. And also, if you have enjoyed watching this program, if you just enjoy watching me put these things together, or if you like what we're doing, please hit like and subscribe because it helps us get this material out to students who may be struggling with this material. And as always, I thank you for watching until the very end. I appreciate you so much. And until the next time, à la prochaine. À bientôt.